Hello and welcome to Safety and Survival Tips for My Sisters. My name is Naeemah Brown. In the martial arts world, they call me Master Naeemah Brown, as I just received my 6th degree black belt. I also own a company named BodyElevated, where I'm a coach and I coach clients on their health and fitness journey. One of the things that I use in my coaching is boxing. And I wanted to welcome you today to what may be tips, what may be a channel, what may be a show. We will see how the Lord directs it, but it's something that God dropped on my heart over a year ago to start safety and survival tips for my sisters. And I think that God really looked into my heart and saw two areas that I was really concerned about. And I think the first was that social media has really highlighted the area of danger, the attacks that women encounter on their everyday activities. So we're seeing women being attacked waiting for the train, walking their dog, coming home from work, answering the door to get Uber Eats. The list really goes on. And I don't know the exact numbers as to whether this is a ever-present danger that is rising or whether we're just more aware of it as a community because of cameras and social media. But what I do know is growing up as a martial artist, so I took martial arts at Dennis Brown Shaolin Wushu. My father, Grandmaster Brown, made it very important for me to start martial arts at the age of 4. And as I moved through learning as a martial artist, and as I grew as a martial artist, one of the things that was, I'll say, very front of mind was that fighting and defending yourself is the last area in martial arts. What I mean by that is we learn so many things, so many areas of awareness, so many techniques to prevent us from ending up at that last stage, which is how to or having to defend ourselves. And I realized as I talked to women in my life that that wasn't something that was imparted to all women. So it's not the mindset that they carry on a day-to-day basis. However, they are in a world where danger is very present, and it's something that we do need to be aware of to make sure that we remain safe and that we survive, because women are doing amazing things. Maybe that's why I decided to launch this at the end of Women's History Month. But we can be around safely and surviving to do the amazing things that we were born into this world to contribute and to create. And even though this was on my mind a year ago, this week I actually got a very disturbing text from one of my girlfriends that God tapped me on the shoulder and said, "Remember what I put on your heart." And this particular text is what catapulted me to say, you know what? Now is the time. It can't be put off any further. And if I can help one woman, then it is going to be worth my effort and worth my contribution. So I'm excited that you're here and that you're watching. Please make sure to like this and share it if you feel like the subject matter that I'm introducing to you and the journey that we're going to go on together with safety and survival tips will be helpful to you or women of all ages in your life. Please pass it on, as my hope is to build a supportive community to make sure that all women feel like they have a resource to get helpful tips, helpful information to be safe and to survive. So I want to tell you a little bit about the text that was disturbing that I got earlier in the week one of my girlfriends, hardworking. She got off work, reasonable hour, probably 8 or 9 o'clock about. I don't remember the exact timeline off the top of my head, but I was at home working on my computer and the text message popped up and she happened to be on the train. We live in New York. She was coming back to Brooklyn, New York. And so she was getting on the train. It's very common. It wasn't the wee hours, as they say, of the night. And as she was traveling on the train, a man came onto the train, sat directly across from her in what was pretty much an empty car, exposed himself, and began masturbating in front of her. So I can only imagine how disturbing that was. So she got up, she tried to move to another train car. The man began following her. So there was a level of panic. And what I realized was that the level of panic that she had, I was in a space where, wow, there's nothing that I can do to help her. And I hope that, her mindset is one where she can think or maybe has some ideas of what to do to make herself as safe as possible in this particular situation. And so that is what made me decide no more procrastination. The time is now to send out these tips. And what I will say about what I'm doing is that I'm not naive to think that no matter what amount of tips, what amount of resources that I provide or that are available on the internet or that we get from going to women's self-defense classes or whatever it may be are going to be enough to eliminate the danger that women face, eliminate us being victimized as we move on our daily activities. But one of the things that I do know is that being trained and equipped with the tools that I can look to give myself the greatest opportunity or the highest potential to remain safe and to survive in the world gives me a level of confidence that I want all women to have. And I just want to be able to just elevate by whatever degree our ability to be safe and to survive in the community. So today I'm going to end with one tip, and the tip came from the experience with the text message. So the first thing that came to mind is that when you're in a situation like that where someone has presented danger, they're in proximity to you, and you are in a territory that you are not completely familiar with, right? This is not her home. This is not her building. Although my girlfriend takes the train regularly, this was a public place of which she's not going to be completely familiar. So that heightens your area of fear and panic. But it also heightens your need to be alert and aware. So she couldn't have her head buried in the phone, texting back and forth multiple times, trying to call. She needed to be aware of her surroundings, how close the gentleman was getting to her, when the stop was coming up, so maybe she could get off and exit. Now, and I'll say this so that we're not concerned for the rest of this tip. She made it home safely. She is safe and sound, so I'm thankful for that. But when I received the text from her, the first thing that I wanted to do was to call the police on her behalf, because I knew that she was trying to remain alert. And I knew that the police needed to be alerted to what was going on, not just for the safety of my girlfriend, but if she's able to get away as she did and she's able to be safe, there is a very low chance that she is going to be the last person that this individual tries to harass or victimize or make unsafe. And so it was important to me that the authorities needed to be alerted of the situation that was going on as soon as possible. But what I realized is that because she was in transit, because she was moving, I wouldn't be able to call the police, because the first thing they ask is, what is her or what is the person's location that you're calling for? So my first tip, which is something that I used to tell women a long time ago when it was more manual, and now iPhones have made it even better for us, is to, I guess it's in two parts. So determine your location tracker buddy, that's one. And two, allow them to track your location. So what I mean by choosing a location tracker buddy is that you have to choose someone that you trust, right? Not someone that you're trying to keep your whereabouts away from, or that you have to make up stories or lie to, or, you know, whatever the case may be. Who knows what's going on in your life and who you want to know and don't want to know your location. My location tracker buddy is my mom. My mom and I are best friends. So she is the person who at any time she can look onto her phone and know exactly where I am. We both have iPhones. So the first thing that I will say is choose that person, and choose a person that is going to be not only a good friend, not only a constant in your life, but we know our friends. We know who is reliable, who has their phone always around them, who handles stress well, right? So you don't want to choose someone who in a time of a stressful situation is that one friend that just breaks down into tears and loses it and panics and can't keep themselves together to call the authorities for you. So you do want to take some time and really think about who the individual is that you would choose for your location tracking buddy, okay? So make sure that that's a person that you trust, that's a constant in your life, that is always more often in proximity of their phone, which many people are, but also handles stressful situations well and with composure. The second piece, we're going to go over to the second part of this, and I'll show you in video on our phone. iPhone has an amazing feature that allows you to go into your settings and click through to share your location. So once you have that on, which I'll show you in the video, you can then designate an individual to share your location. And there are 3 different ways you can share your location. You can share it once, so somebody knows where you are right now. You can share it for up to the day, so that that person knows where you are for that particular day. Or you can share it indefinitely. So the one that I've chosen is indefinitely with my mom, because the thing about danger or things that we're trying to be aware of when it comes to safety and survival, they usually don't give us an announcement like, hey, you're about to be unsafe. You will learn that it can happen at any time, even in an environment that is seemingly safe. So I recommend using the feature that says share indefinitely. However, if you feel more comfortable starting out with just sharing for the day, maybe you are going on a work trip and you're not going to be familiar with the area. Maybe you're going into an environment for whatever reason you are fearful of or feel unsafe. You can share your location with your location tracker buddy for the day. You've now enabled that person to act on your behalf. So if you're in a situation where all you can do is get off one quick phone call or one quick text message, or you don't have the feature on your phone where you can hold both sides and it can call the authority, or you don't want that countdown sound, which you can turn off or on for that feature. If you don't know about that feature, maybe I'll go over that another day to sound. There's a number of reasons that you may not be able to act on your own behalf, but now you've enabled that person to enact on your behalf. I would have loved to be able to do that for my friend when she texted earlier in the week and she was going through that situation. But because I was not her location tracker buddy, she didn't have a location tracker buddy, I wasn't able to act on her behalf. So I hope this helps. Please watch the video as to how to set this up in your phone, and think very wisely about the person that you select. Person selected. Now go to your home screen and click your settings icon, then the tab with your name and picture. Look for the words Find My. Click on that section. Once you're there, make sure that Share My Location is on and green. You'll see the person that you've selected to share your location with below in Friends once you put them there. Then go into your text messages to the person you've selected and click their name at the top. Once you pull that up, make sure that you click Share My Location. That will pop up those 3 categories that we talked about, and you can select from there. What you see in the middle here is my mom's location, because she has also shared her location with me. Now you're all set. And remember, no matter what amount of tools that you have, no matter what amount of resources that we get during this journey of being safe and surviving, your greatest covering, your greatest ability to make it home safe is to stay prayed up. God is the only one who can keep you from danger seen and unseen. And so when I come and when I go, no matter what I know, no matter what I've been trained in, I stay prayed up. So I say to you, stay safe, ladies, survive, and stay prayed up.